Okay. Let me see. Let me adjust my microphone here. Okay. I guess you can hear me well. All right. Let's do this. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Mediumship Development here at Broward Spirit Society. We are in Pompano Beach for those that are watching us live on Facebook. And we're going to be here every Tuesday, almost every Tuesday. And our study is going to be based on the book Nosso Lar or Astral City. If you have seen the movie, it is very famous. No, it's not, but I wish. Let me give you the program guide. Oh, we need to do our prayer. Oh, yeah. Okay, so we do our opening prayer. Thank you, Juan. Come back, Nick. Nick Suavecito is here. Okay. So we will always start with the opening prayer and then a closing prayer as well. Tonight is just the study group, so we don't have our regular public meeting followed by energy healing sessions that we have here. It's going to be, okay, let's do this. All right, here we come. Okay, let's do just a very short prayer. If you want to, you can close your eyes and just take one deep breath. Let's just come here in the present moment and connect with our spiritual guides, our spiritual family, the mentors of the Broward Spiritist Society. We are very grateful to start this mediumship development program. And may we connect with our spirituality even more. May we become receptive for the teachings of the spirits and the guidance of our guardian angels, our mentors in this journey. May this journey touch deeply in our heart and change our lives and our perspective regarding the spiritual world. And with the permission of the good spirits, they are here present with us, guiding us. Let's begin our program. Thank you. Welcome, welcome. Why don't we say just our name just once? I am Cynthia. And right here, first row. Manuela. Gabriela. Manuel. Manny. Scott. Francisco. Laís, Nick, Stanley, Josh, and Juan. Welcome, everyone. Okay, so we're going to start this program with the Nosso Lar, Astral City, if you have seen this movie before. And here's the program guideline. Okay. Right here. Let me know if you can listen. Okay. So, Nosso Lar, so this book, this is the guide we're going to have throughout this year. So we start today on March and we go until November. And it's going to be almost every Tuesday. And why? Because on the second Tuesday of the month, second Tuesday we're going to be off, which is the next one. We have a workshop on emotions here on the Spirit Center, exactly here. So we have, every Tuesday we have our guided meditation from 7 to 7:40, more or less. And then at 8 o'clock we're going to have this study group. So the second Tuesday of the month, we won't have we're gonna have our break, our pause. Okay, so there will be a total of 30 classes throughout the year. The audio is available. The Broward Spirit Society has a YouTube channel, and you can find the audios, and many did the audios wonderfully. We're going to listen to it every time we are here, so we don't have to read it. We can be relaxed and just listen to the audio, or if you have your books or your iPads, your e-books, you can also read it for yourself. And we're going to read, please read the chapters before you come to the study group, so you have a better understanding. And also, if you want to write down your notes and your questions, what you disagree, what you agree, whatever you want to say, you are more than welcome to bring to the session, okay? It's going to be 2 chapters per week, and it is important for you. Oh, where is our attendance book, Juan? So we write down our names, please, because in this program, if you want to continue moving on your mediumship development, so we can reach the advanced mode, you will have to have a minimum attendance, okay? So this is mediumship 1, we will have mediumship 2, and we will have mediumship 3. As you know, our Broward Spirit Society, there are different groups and different mediumship meetings. And also, be aware of the workshops we offer here. We offer the healing energy treatment, the magnetism workshops, and you can understand how you can get in touch with your spirituality on different levels. So it's very good for you. If you can, we will be announcing, be aware of the workshops we offer. They're as important as this study group, okay? And if you have any question, anytime you can ask. Okay, so let's begin. So this book, Nosso Lar, was published in 1944 originally, and there are 14 books by Andre Luiz. I forgot right now, it's 14 or 13. I guess it's 14. So it's a series of books where Andre Luiz, the spirit of Andre Luiz, is talking about the life in the spiritual world. So we have, he will describe many experiences he is observing in the spiritual world, like a reporter. He's telling us. We have heard this saying that, oh, we don't know about the world of the dead because nobody came back to tell us what's going on there. Yes, there are many segments, not only Spiritism, but there are other spiritualist segments as well that a lot of people have channeled and have done direct writings on books, and spirits came through those mediums to talk about the spiritual world. And the medium is, in my opinion, the greatest medium of all time. Medium Chico. How do you want me to say his name? Chico Xavier or Chico Xavier? How would you like? Tell me. Chico Xavier? I've heard Chico Xavier. Chico. How? Xavier. Well, how do you like? Tell me. So you understand me when I say his name. How would you like?
How about if you do like you're doing Nosso Lar, you're saying Nosso Lar, if you say Chico Xavier.
But I don't know. Maybe if in a phrase, if I put Chico Xavier in a phrase, will you recognize I'm saying, okay?
In English, it's
Xavier.
For purposes of this class, I'm not sure.
Okay. Let's begin with the Chico Xavier. let's begin with that. And then later on, we're going to be like a pro in few Portuguese words, and then we, okay?
Yes.
All right.
And also in English, they use more the last name. So if you just say Xavier.
Xavier,
instead of saying
thank you.
Xavier, just Xavier.
That's good?
Right?
Xavier? Okay. It's super different to me, but it's like, what? Okay. That's different, but it's okay. Whatever is easier for you, okay? I just don't want to make it very confusing because, as you know, you all know this book is very deep. So we don't need any other and more confusion because it's already a lot of confusion. Okay, so in 1944, and channeled by this wonderful, great medium, Chico Xavier. See? Okay. And the spirit of Andre Luiz. I don't know if you know the story. The first time that Xavier met Andre Luiz. Do you know the story? Have you ever heard this story? So, this medium had a range of mediumistic abilities, seeing spirits, hearing everything, right? So the spirits would come just like you and I to talk to him. And so this spirit, Andre Luiz, comes to the medium, Xavier. He was in his house, in his brother's bedroom. And then the spirit comes with Xavier's mentors, a spirit mentor called Emmanuel. We will see a message from Emmanuel in a moment. And they explain that they would like to do this work and would like to use his ability to write some books talking about the life in the spirit world. And then Xavier asked him, "What is your name?" And then he says, "What is the name of that boy right beside you?" And then Xavier said, "Andre Luiz." And his brother. And then the spirit says, "Okay, that's my name, Andre Luiz." And in a moment, we will understand why he did that, okay? Because in the preface, in the beginning of the book, the spirits will tell us why he did that. So this is the Andre Luiz, and you say, well, but how people can picture him like that? Because there were several mediums that were working as well with Xavier, and then they knew they could see the same face, and then one of them had the ability to do the drawing and did it like this. And then, of course, Xavier said, yes, this is him, and it became famous. The drawing is famous for that. Actually, when they did the movie, they selected an actor that looked like this photo. Okay, in this Nosso Lar, we're going to talk a lot about Umbral. Have you ever heard of Umbral? Have you seen this movie? Have you seen this movie? That's why I brought this picture, because this is a very famous movie. Do you know this movie, Manela? No?
No.
This is what is the name of this movie again?
Astral City.
What dreams may come.
What Dreams May Come, with Robin Williams, exactly. This is a story of a doctor that he loved his wife very much, and then she committed suicide. And then, where did she go? To the Umbral. Her state of mind, the hell, the infernal state of mind she created for herself because of her state of mind. And that's where she was. And he visited her later on. This is an amazing movie, amazing. You should see it. Again, what is the name again?
What dreams may come.
What Dreams May Come. Actually, I think I have the DVD at home. What Dreams May Come. It's an excellent movie. And there you can actually, just like Nosso Lar, you can see how do spirits picture this state of mind called umbral. Umbral, this word, exists in English as well. And umbral is that thing. Can I point this? I don't know if I can go there. This is the umbral, this part of the door. So it's where it separates the two walls. So it's a portal, like a threshold. Exactly, that's the word, threshold. That's exactly the word. And umbral is the threshold. And I just bought this picture for you so you can visualize, because we are very visual. So Andre Luiz is gonna talk about all his journey from when he was a doctor, incarnate alive here in flesh and blood on this planet, and then what happened when he discarnates, when he leaves the body and enters in the spirit world. He goes through umbral, and then he goes to Nosso Lar, which is an astral city, on top of which city? Rio de Janeiro. You know Rio de Janeiro, Brazil? Did you know that Nosso Lar is on top of Rio de Janeiro? Yes, on top of Rio de Janeiro. Do you know there are other astral cities in other different places around the globe as well? Do you know that? Do you know there is one on top of Pompano Beach? City of Hope. Yes, there is, of course. We have assistance, and we are all connected, as you know. Okay, let's keep going. So this is a picture, again, captured by mediums, and they have done some drawing. And of course, this is from the movie. That's why you can see beautifully done. And you see the planet Earth right here. So this is a city, and you say, so if it's a city with buildings and everything, isn't the dimension, the level, is it also material? What do you think?
Yeah, dimension.
But could it be another level of matter, of matter? Yes, we will see that. So that's why you see it here, so realistic, looking like a city. We will see that now in a moment. Okay, so we will start. So what we will do today, we're gonna have to listen to the first new friend is a message from Emmanuel. And again, Emmanuel is the spirit mentor of Xavier, of the medium. Okay? So what does that mean, that he was a mentor? It means that this spirit was a more enlightened than the medium and was guiding him throughout his work, was helping him with his work, was organizing. For example, Andre Luiz said, oh, you know, I would like to write a book through Xavier, the medium Xavier. And how do I do that? So someone tell him, no, you got to talk with Emmanuel, because Emmanuel is the one that organizes all this work from the spirit world. So just like we have a manager or a coordinator, Xavier also had a coordinator in the spirit realm in organizing who was going to write, what was all that the book was about, etc., etc. So Emmanuel was organizing on the other side, on the spirit world, the works of Xavier. Okay, so this message is from 1943. Yes, Manuela.
Is it possible they change places?
Is it possible that they change places, the city?
No, Xavier with Emmanuel, like Xavier becomes the mentor instead of Emmanuel.
It's possible. It's a good question. So she is asking, is it possible that Emmanuel incarnates and Xavier discarnates, go to the spiritual realm, and Xavier becomes Emmanuel's mentor? Yes, it's possible. It's possible. It is like just two friends. Imagine two friends, and then I say, hey Manny, help me, guide me with this, help me to do this work here, organize with me this work. Okay. And then later on, Manuel says, can you please help me to organize my work now because I need some help? It's exactly the same thing. If we have this syntony, this friendship, why not, right? Manu, can you see the air conditioning, please, from here? I think it's a little bit hot. It's a little bit. Okay, so let me get my phone here so we can listen to the audio. And again, this is on our YouTube channel. So let me just get a new friend. Let me just wait. Okay, Manu. All right.
Nosso Lar.
We
Life in the Spirit
got
World.
disconnected. Hold on. Oh, no. Yes. See if you can hear it.
Nosso Lar, Life in the Spirit World, also known as Astral City, A Spiritual Journey, written by Francisco Candido Xavier, also known as Chico Xavier, and dictated by the spirit Andre Luiz. A New Friend. Prefaces in general introduce authors praising their merits and commenting on their personalities. Here, the situation is different. Our incarnate friends would search in vain for a doctor named Andre Luiz, listed in conventional reference. Sometimes, anonymity is the child of real understanding and true love. In order to redeem a disgraceful past, former names are changed in the process of reincarnation. Temporary forgetfulness acts as a blessing of divine mercy. Andre, too, has needed to pull the curtain over himself. That is why we cannot divulge the true identity of this terrestrial doctor and human author. Instead, we introduce him as a new friend and brother in eternity. In order to bring valuable insights to his earthbound brothers and sisters, he had to renounce all conventions, including his own name. He did so to avoid hurting beloved hearts that are still tangled in the old cloaks of illusion. Those who are harvesting the ripe ears of corn must neither offend those who are planting some distance away, nor disturb the unripe crops that are still developing. We are aware that this book is not unique, that other entities have already talked about the conditions of life beyond the grave. Nevertheless, we have long hoped to bring into our spiritual circle someone who might transmit to other persons the value of his own experience, with all the possible details for rightly understanding the laws that preside over the efforts of diligent and well-meaning discarnate individuals in spheres invisible to the human eye, although intimately connected to the planet nonetheless. Of course, many friends will smile when they read certain passages of the narrative. However, the unusual has always caused surprise in all eras. For instance, who didn't smile some time back when someone talked about aviation, electricity, or radiophony? Surprise! Perplexity and doubt are normal for students who have not yet completed all their lessons. Such is more than natural. It is really only fair. Thus, we will refrain from commenting on other people's insights. Every reader must analyze for him or herself what he or she reads. Therefore, let us talk only about the essential aim of this work. Spiritism is rapidly increasing its number of followers. Thousands of individuals are becoming interested in its endeavors, methods, and experiments. In such an immensely new area, however, people should not neglect themselves. It is not enough simply to investigate phenomena and adhere verbally to our particular creed, to improve statistics, to indoctrinate the consciousness of others, to proselytize, or to win the public's opinion, no matter how respectable this all may be in the physical realm. What is essential is that we acquire an understanding of our infinite potential and that we use it in the service of the good. Earth's human beings have not been disinherited. They are God's children, engaged in constructive labor and clothed in flesh. And they are students attending a worthwhile school where they must learn to evolve. The human struggle is their opportunity, their tool, and their textbook. Communication with the invisible is a sacred activity, which is acting to restore pure Christianity. However, let none neglect their own needs in the place they occupy by the Lord's will. Andre Luiz comes to tell you, dear reader, that the greatest surprise of physical death is that it places us face to face with our own conscience, wherein we build our own heaven, remain in purgatory, or immerse ourselves in the infernal abyss. He reminds us that the earth is a sacred workshop and that nobody will despise it without paying the price for the terrible error to which he or she has subjected his or her own heart. Keep Andre's experience in the book of your soul. It states that it is not enough for individuals to cling to their human existence, that it is necessary to know how to profit from such an existence with dignity, that the steps of a Christian, whatever his or her religious school may be, should move surely towards Christ, and that in our doctrinal area, we need both spiritism and spiritualism, but most of all, spirituality. A message from Andre Luiz.
Hold on. Let's pause right here so we can discuss this. I like when he says in the beginning of this message that some people will laugh at this idea. And he says, remember, people also laughed when others were giving an idea of the radio or a car or any other inventions, maybe a telephone. Those people that had those ideas, they must sound like crazy when they were telling this idea for the first time, right? This is a normal thing. And the spirit of Emmanuel is saying here that a lot of people will laugh at the spirit world. This is crazy. This is a woo-woo thing.
Earth is round.
Earth is round, right? Earth is flat. Earth is round. And no, we just believe what we see. We have this saying, what we see is what we get. Is that true for spirituality? And we get so, our mind, it's so fixed here in our lives in the material world that we forget about our spirituality. And we truly believe that we are just this. You know, we are immersed in our experiences such as, you know, a study or a work, a job, or having a baby, and then when we are in that experience, we forget about everything else. We are only that experience. We get our mind so deep in that experience that we forget about our senses, who we are. We are a spirit here on this planet. What are we doing here and our purposes, and etc. So the spirit of Emmanuel is bringing Andre Luiz as our friend, just a friend, that is bringing this news from the spiritual world, life in the spiritual world, and is asking us to take those words, keep Andre's experience in the book of your soul. So there are a lot of people that are waking up for this matter, for the spirituality and the spiritual life. And there are some that are having those near-death experience. They're coming back and they're saying, I don't need any proof. I know this is true. I know this is true. So there are a lot of people, they don't need any kind of proofs from science or material world. They are 100% confident it's true because they know it is true. They have experienced. And also, you know, mediumship. There are mediums everywhere. So mediumship is not in a group of our society or a certain scale. It's everywhere. Anywhere you have mediums. And a lot of those, unfortunately, sometimes they're taken by schizophrenic or some kind of mental problems. But what they really have is just a wild mediumship that they need to develop, they need to educate, because mediumship is a faculty of the soul, as we know. So a lot of people, they look for books like that. It is because they have some kind of experience, a spiritual experience, and they're looking for confirmation. Like, I just want to know if I'm not really crazy. Let me read this. And then when they connect with this information, and that's when they start the development. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people there that they know this. People they're learning about mediumship, they become vulnerable. And others, they play with that information, that situation. That's the reason why we need to educate ourselves. We need to learn about the life in the spiritual realm, and we need to learn about spirituality, so we don't become so vulnerable like that, and we can make our own decisions, our own ideas about this. Okay. Do you like to add any comments or anything you want to say about these messages? No?
Over there, they will say, what is essential is that we acquire understanding of our infinite potential. And
It's
how to
beautiful.
Use it in the service of good.
Yeah, I will read it.
What is essential about the message?
What is essential is that we acquire an understanding of our infinite potential and that we use it in the service of the good. So
Find this potential.
we have infinite potentials. We know, and especially now with the internet, we see that there are a lot of people showing many wonderful abilities that we have. We are this wonderful spirit in this body, but we are not limited to this body. We can do so much more. And life itself, we have a purpose, and our purpose is to evolve. And we need to use, thank you for saying this, we need to use those, the understanding, and we need to use that understanding in order to evolve. We take the information and the studies like this, we gather the information, and this should not be just sleeping in our soul or our hearts. And we should take this and put into practice on our daily lives so we can have a better relationship with our family, our co-workers. We can understand that things will not stop or end right here. There is a continuation, and we have a history. We see a child. When we see a child, we see this little body, but behind that little body, there is a very old spirit. Come in, Luigi, you are late. Yes.
Yeah, the question here just made me think of that passage when Jesus says, you can do everything that I do and much more.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you tell the mountain to move, it will move. So I think that's kind of like that infinite potential. It's something that we're so focused on material that we can't realize
Right.
that we can do everything that Jesus did and much more.
Juan brought up this passage from Christ when he said, you can do what I'm doing and much more because of our potential. And we need to learn about our potential. We need to know what are those potentials that we have, those abilities. And mediumship certainly is a natural one. Let's keep going. Let's listen to the Now the message from Andre Luiz, okay? And again, you can find this on our YouTube channel. Broward Spirit Society is very easy to find.
Nerve insanity.
Okay, right here. Oh no, it's the other one, right? We were listening to. It was going to, hold on a second. I don't know where we stopped. Oh, I don't know where it is. What?
Near the end.
Huh? Say again?
Is a sacred activity, which is active.
Oh, okay, a little bit more. Okay.
However, let none neglect their own needs in the place they occupy by the Lord's will. Andre
Let me
Luiz
see.
comes to tell you, dear reader, that
There you
the
go.
greatest surprise of physical death is
Yes.
that it places us face to face with
Good.
our own conscience, wherein we build our own heaven, remain in purgatory, or immerse ourselves in the infernal abyss. He reminds us that the earth is a sacred workshop and that nobody will despise it without paying the price for the terrible error to which he or she has subjected his or her own heart. Keep Andre's experience in the book of your soul. It states that it is not enough for individuals to cling to their human existence, that it is necessary to know how to profit from such an existence with dignity, that the steps of a Christian, whatever his or her religious school may be, should move surely towards Christ, and that in our doctrinal area, we need both spiritism and spiritualism, but most of all, spirituality. A message from Andre Luiz. Life never ceases. Life is an eternal font and death is only an obscure game of illusion. A great river follows its course before joining the immense sea. Likewise, the soul also follows its course of various roads and goes through different stages. It too receives streams of knowledge here and there, augmenting the way it expresses itself and purifying its character before reaching the eternal ocean of wisdom. The closing of our corporeal eyes is a very simple process. Changing out of the physical cloak does not solve the fundamental problem of enlightenment, however, because changing out of one's cloak has nothing to do with the profound solutions to the problems of destiny and being. Ah, paths of souls, mysterious ways of the heart. It is necessary to travel them before attempting the supreme equation of eternal life. It is crucial that you live out their drama, that you know them in detail by detail during the long process of spiritual perfection. It would be extremely childish to believe that the mere lowering of the curtain could settle the transcendental questions concerning the infinite. One life, one act, one body, one garment, one century, one day, one task, one experience, one triumph, one acquisition, one death, one breath of renewal. How many lives, how many bodies, how many centuries, how many tasks, how many triumphs, and how many deaths do we still need? And the scholar of religious philosophy speaks of final decisions and definitive positions. Alas, everywhere there are those who are learned in doctrine but illiterate in spirit. It takes a great effort for human beings to enroll in the school of the gospel of Christ, an admission process that nearly always happens in a strange way. They find themselves alone in the company of the master, struggling with a difficult course, learning lessons without visible professors, and listening to long lectures without spoken words. Very long, therefore, is our laborious journey. Our poor efforts aim only to give us an idea of that fundamental truth. Thus I am thankful, my friends. I appear to you in all the anonymity that obeys fraternal charity. Human existence presents a great number of fragile vessels that cannot yet contain the whole truth. Moreover, at this time we are only interested in the profound experience itself, along with its collective values. We won't torment anyone with the idea of eternity. First and foremost, the vessels must become stronger. We will only provide some light news to the eager spirits of our brothers and sisters on the path of spiritual realization, those who understand, as we do, that the Spirit blows wherever it pleases. And now, my friends, may my thanks fall silently upon this paper, retreating into the great silence of sympathy and gratitude. Attraction and acknowledgement, love and joy live in the soul. You can be sure that I hold similar values for you within the sanctuary of my heart. May the Lord bless us. Andre Luiz.
Wow, so many things in that message. Okay, so this is the only message. I have the message from Emmanuel and the message from Andre Luiz. The other audios, you will have only the chapter, each chapter for each audio, okay? So let's go back here. First of all, let me get your first impressions about this text. When you hear this or when you read this, what do you have in mind? What does it come up in your mind about this? Just silence? Yes? What? Luigi, say it.
No, I just want to ask them about life never ceases. What do we understand about that? What is our understanding of life never ending?
Great question. So Luigi is asking, just for those that are watching us, life never ceases. What do you understand by that? What is your opinion on that? Life never ceases.
If someone asks you that you're going to continue living after death, how do you see this life on the afterlife? What is your understanding of this life?
He's asking, what is your understanding of the afterlife?
Of this life after you come back from the afterlife.
Of this life after you come back.
Looking back at your life, right?
No, what is your understanding after you pass?
You see? Of the afterlife.
Of the afterlife or this life?
This life.
Of this life.
Yes.
After this life, when you leave this body, or if you leave this body, if you understand that you leave this body, what's going to happen to you?
No, that's what I was asking.
That's what I'm asking you. What's your understanding after you die?
Of this life.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Yeah. Yes.
What do you understand? What's going to happen to you? What do you think? What do you believe, actually? Not what
Do
you...
you see yourself? How do you see yourself? Where do you see yourself?
Nowhere? Nothing?
I see myself continuing to live and continuing to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Learn more about myself,
Mm-hmm.
learn more about ways in which I can help other people and help myself to grow, and just continuing to do the things that I'm doing here in terms of spiritual growth. Not the things that I do here in terms of material life,
Mm-hmm.
my profession, my roles in this lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
But I will continue learning.
You will continue learning.
Yes, and growing.
So basically for you, nothing will change. You will continue doing what you're already doing.
What will change will be that I won't have the roles that I play here right now.
Okay.
I will continue working in things that I might be, things that I am working right now, probably
Mm-hmm.
when I'm sleeping during
Mhm.
the night. So some things that I'm already doing during the night when I'm sleeping, and my body is sleeping, and then I am, participating probably in meetings like this, study meetings. I
Mhm.
hope.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember when I wake up, but
So you are
some of these
rehearsing.
things will continue, but my role as a wife and a mother and my profession
Mm-hmm.
is not gonna be the same.
So basically you are rehearsing every time you sleep, your spirit goes out and rehearse this spiritual life. Okay, good. Anybody else has an opinion, would like to say something about this? Scott, Manny, Stanley?
So let's extend that. We'll find out after I die. I have the vaguest idea or remembrance.
You will find out there when you are there. Okay. Scott?
So to continue the story, that idea is, so yeah, it's still you transitioning to a new place.
Mm-hmm.
There, you can expect some friends you may or may not remember, but they know you well.
Mm-hmm. Transitioning to a new
And,
place. Strangers and friends you're gonna meet.
Transition, but what you have is you. So everything about you is there. When I say everything, I mean everything. And it's all exposed. So at that point,
All exposed.
No
all
masks.
exposed, all you, all the time, all on. And so at that point,
You're not all you all the time right now?
well, the human condition allows us to like put some things to sleep as we move along here. And so that can be challenging for the transition.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of our goals here would be to make sure that we get rid of the junk. We have no guilt. There's things in this order so that our transition is as smooth as possible. Let's say. So I'll leave it at that.
Okay. Juan?
Maybe I'm too pragmatic, but what I see is that I'm trying to come here and see who's here to say hello, ask what do I do next.
Oh, you would, when we get out of this body, you become a spirit and you will come to a spiritual center to talk with someone.
Yeah, that's probably the safest thing to do.
Safe.
Can I get you right? I'll be on 4th Street. Pick me up.
You're gonna look for Luigi?
He's outside.
Just to make sure you are in the world of the dead and not among the livings. Is that okay? Okay.
I mean, ask Luigi too. It's crazy.
Ask Luigi too. Okay, Luigi.
The biggest thing of Nosso Lar, it was to reveal the existence of the spiritual world
Right.
in a way that no one ever did before. So, as you study this book, you will see knowledge that never been brought to us from the other side, the way this book did it. And this book needs to be studied paragraph by paragraph, because in each paragraph you're going to find something new and revealing about the life and the spiritual world. And it is extremely important for us to understand this, because a lot of you here, a lot of the people in the world has the same answer as Stanley did. I have no idea. I'm going to find out when I get there. So, and that's the reason we are studying this book. Oops. And I just want to do a little intro here, Cynthia, if you excuse me,
Sure, absolutely.
for how important this book is, because I only ask that question is because that's the concern, that the, how do I say this, the lack of knowledge after we die. And
That's true.
this, for us, is a big concern. Because a lot of people don't put a lot of, how do I say, responsibility on that.
It is not a priority.
It's not a priority.
Right.
And it should be a priority, because if we believe that we are souls and spirits and that we're going to live forever, we must understand that this material world is not our world. It's just a passing world. It's like a student in a 3rd grade. He should not be worried to stay in 3rd grade. He should be worrying to move forward. And to move forward is to understand what's waiting for us on the next year or in the next life. And this book brings us that. This is the first book, a series of 16 of them.
Oh, 16, not 14.
Okay? Yeah, it's because the other two books are not on the list. It doesn't count, but you're right. It's 14, right? And people don't take that for granted of this knowledge. And if I want to make a, I don't know how many of you here are really gringos. I mean, most of us here are Brazilian Americans, right? And but the belief of the gringos here, it's a little bit different, especially around the spirituality, okay? Because of the culture and because of the information that came through then and how they dealt with the spiritual world. United States was the biggest ground in the entire world of spirituality.
Yes.
okay, 100-something years ago. And they became, it got lost because of we not being able to deal with it, right? And it changed the way we see spirituality. It happened the same thing that happened in Europe after the Illuminism came in and took over of the minds of everybody. So if you go, who here has been to Europe before? If never, so been, if you talk to a French guy, for example, I have a cousin, he's from France, a couple of cousins from France. You cannot talk religion with them because when you talk religion with them, they'll spit on the floor, right? That's how they deal with religion. They lost completely the taste for religion. And the same way is happening here in the United States with spirituality because of how can I say, charlatanism, charlatans, right? And people looking to make money through spirituality. And everyone that I spoke here in the United States, I've been living in this country and studying Spiritism for about 27 years. And every church that I went here, spiritualist church, and every medium that I spoke here in the United States, American mediums, they say exactly the same thing. We don't need knowledge because the knowledge will come from them. And that's the biggest mistake that a medium can make, that a student of spirituality can make. Okay? Because we know, as we're going to study here, you're going to see there is spirits, good and bad. And how we'll know which spirit is talking through you, which spirit is doing your readings. Okay? So this book is going to bring to us, is going to take a lot of the uncover knowledge of spirituality that we have. And it was great. It's Manny's?
Yes.
Amazing. The
I
reading
told
here.
you it was amazing.
Amazing. Because when they read, you can focus more on the reading, and it's amazing. I'll tell you this book is in the future is going to be studied in universities. Okay? Mark my word.
It is already in Brazil, actually.
Okay? This book is going to be studied by scientists in the future because the amount of information of the spirit. Yes.
Yes. A lot of doctors, yes.
Exactly. So just for you to understand what you're being part of it. Okay? We are not here to say that we do better, that we are better, none of that. We're just bringing here what is worked for us, what worked for us.
True.
And it works well. Okay?
True.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your time. Where are you going? Stay with us.
I will.
Yes, because, and actually, what Luigi said, whatever you read in this book, every single line, you're going to find a profound call. Like, for instance, like this one, a great river follows its course before joining the immense sea. It is talking about this evolution, our purpose here as incarnate spirits, right? And also saying things that we don't understand yet, but as we go with this book, we will learn more about this. Life is an eternal fountain, and death is the only and obscure game of illusion. We're going to understand in details about what is that too. And then, I hope, at the end of this program, at the end of the year, we're going to be a little bit more confident in answering this question. What does it mean, this life never ceases? Hopefully, yes? And I found fascinating. I've read this book so many times. When I was in a number 9 time that I read this book, I decided I would not count it any longer because I had to read so many times. And every time I read it, I learned something new. And I'm telling you, when I read today, and the other day I read as well when I got Manny's audio, and I was following because we need to put in the YouTube, the video for the audio. It feels like this is the first time I'm reading this book. So profound this book is. Okay, what else we can talk about? There's so many things we can talk. We don't have the time. It is almost, okay, it's 5 minutes before we finish. Let's see some remarks here. It is crucial that you live out their drama, that you know them detail by detail during the long process of spiritual perfection. It is talking about the paths of the soul. Do you know the paths of your soul? Do you know the tendencies of your soul? Do you know yourself? That's what Andre Luiz is talking here. The paths of the souls, mysterious ways of the heart. Don't you want to know about the mysterious ways of your heart? We got to learn this. We got to know all about this. This is our duty, our job to learn about ourselves. And the first thing we need to learn is that we are an immortal spirit. And life never ceases. And we need to understand that well and be confident about that so we can continue with our purpose here on earth. Otherwise, we're going to be... It is crucial that you live out the drama, that you know them detail by detail during the long process of a spiritual perfection. It's a long process of a spiritual perfection. Yes.
That part that it says, changing out of the physical cloak does not solve the fundamental problem of enlightenment. So it's like when we pass or when we leave this body, we don't just suddenly, just because we left the body and went to the spiritual world, become angels.
Angels. Great point.
You know, and go to sleep or
yes.
things like that. So
great point.
We continue, that's why I said, before, we continue just living and we continue progressing.
Yes.
Because since we are immortal, we need to continue progressing.
Yes.
And learning more.
Yeah. And we heard a lot of accounts, and I'm sure you heard too, this idea, this romantic idea that when we pass, we become angels, or we become enlightened, or we change, or we are somewhere in heaven doing nothing in a place. I remember when I was a little kid, I saw this picture of a religious book, and I saw this picture of, it was like a garden, a big garden with trees, and the trees had fruits in the trees, and the kids were playing, and the adults were with the kids, and the idea was everybody doing nothing. And I was like 9 or 10 years old. I looked at this picture and I said, there is something wrong, but I don't know what it is. I don't know what is wrong, but there's something wrong about this picture. We're doing absolutely nothing. So all those ideas that we have acquired, and God knows for how many incarnation after incarnations, reincarnations, we have been gathering those informations. But now it is time for us, we have the maturity to understand about our spiritual life. And that's the reason why the spirits, they came forward and they started to tell the story behind the curtain. So what we don't see, we can't easily see with our physical eyes. The Spirit says, here's what's going on. Now you can know what's really going on. Now you are spiritually more prepared to know what's going on. And that's the reason why we didn't learn before. It is because we don't teach chemistry to a 5-year-old. It's pointless. Yes? There are some 5 years old, they can, but it's a rare exception, right? Most of us, we, at the age of 5 years old, we cannot understand chemistry. So in the same way, the spirits, they didn't tell us before rich in details about the spiritual world. It is because we didn't have the maturity. Now we do. And now, that's why we hear more often and more often everywhere. We see TV shows, channels, movies, right, about death, about the spiritual world, about mediumship as well. So it's becoming more and more common. And actually, Jesus says that, you know, if the mediums don't talk, the stones will, right? The rocks will talk. So that's exactly why we are here, because we need to come together and we need to educate ourselves about the spiritual world, because we will come back. We will not gonna leave this body and stay there. We will come back. And of course, we want a more spiritualized world, so we can come back and we can grow together faster, because we are one family. This planetary family, it's one family. And one day, we will see each other as one family. Anything else you want to point out before we do our final prayer? Please say something. Add your comments.
One at a time.
Okay. This is beautiful. This here is beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
One life, one act, one body, one garment, one century, one day, one task, one experience, one triumph, one acquisition, one death, one breath of renewal. That's very beautiful. And as many other books that he wrote, Andre Luiz. Okay, we will stay with this one. We will keep this one, and then your homework is to listen to audio, chapter 1 and chapter 2. Okay? It's gonna be in the lower regions and Florencio. So these are the two. Okay, let me go back here. So you stay with this picture. Say again?
Oh, so you didn't do the chapter 1 yet, right?
No, we didn't do. We're gonna start chapter 1 and chapter 2. Okay?
And next Tuesday, we'll skip, right? So we'll come.
Yes, next Tuesday we're gonna have the emotions workshop here, and then the following. We have a meetup group, and you can see the schedule. It's I organized very well there, very clear. You can see which days we don't have, but it's every
Second Tuesday of the month.
the second Tuesday of the month. Every second Tuesday of the month, we are off.
After today, I need to come next Tuesday.
Yes.
It's a little
Okay.
overwhelming.
Right? You
Yeah.
come next Tuesday and then... Okay, let's do our final prayer. It is just for us to align ourselves and to be grateful for this opportunity to come together and talk about our spirituality. This is so important for us. This is the time during this reincarnation, this is a special opportunity, which is to be in this body. We will never be again the same. We will have a different body in the future, a different story, a different family. And as we are right now, we want to make a difference in our story, the story of our spiritual past. Let's make this one a beautiful one, a wonderful experience. And may we go home relaxed, refreshed, coming back in 2 weeks for more receptive, for more spiritual teachings and spirituality. Thank you, and so be it. Thank you, Juan, and thank you, everyone.